And I actually I love to work with groups of women, mostly because I feel like a lot of out of all the people that I've worked with, I think women tend to generally not take care of their bodies or not take care of themselves. Very often I see that they put other people first, which is great, but you can't really help others if you're not taking care of yourself. And so another thing I've noticed with women is that we don't realize how wonderfully gifted we are and how amazing our bodies actually are, and like how much they can do, even like internal processes. When you compare a man's body versus a woman's body, uh, it's it's astounding, like the range of capabilities that we have. And yet for most women that experience is it almost feels like a curse sometimes. So when I have clients that come to me, they talk to me about like PCOD, PCOS, oh weight gain, like हमें weight loss के लिए कुछ दे दो, like suddenly weight बढ़ रहा है या stress बढ़ रहा है, weight पता नहीं कैसे बढ़ रहा है, PCOS हो गया, PCOD हो गया, like अचानक से like सब कुछ ठीक ही था, things like that. And suddenly it's like there's weight gain, there's hormonal issues, irregularities in menstrual cycles, menopause is just like a different level of crazy. So it's complete hormonal imbalances. And it's actually sad because it's the good news is that it can be fixed very easily with a little bit of dedicated practice. And I'll be showing you those asanas today. But also, like, we think we're confined to these problems and we're really not. So what I thought I'd do in today's session is take up some asanas specific for these conditions, but which can also be done even if even if you're a completely healthy individual, you don't have any PCOD, PCOS. And one thing I can guarantee you is if you take this practice home, I'm not doing any advanced asanas today. I'm not even doing intermediate asanas. I want to stick to basics. But I can guarantee you that if you do this series properly every day or 3 times a week, or do it in combination with the Surya Namaskar, I can guarantee regularity in periods. I can guarantee painlessness. I can guarantee like just a better quality of life. I can guarantee improved digestion. I can guarantee, yeah, better digestion, no constipation. So that's the advantage of today's practice. Like I've specifically chosen asanas and series of asanas that will help you with that. Okay. So I know I'm talking a lot. I just want to set the intention of the practice before we practice so that you know why you're doing it and you know why you're doing certain asanas. Because very often, like, people say, I want to do yoga because I know yoga helps. But how does it help? What is it doing? So as we do each asana, I will walk you through it. Just some simple rules. Don't breathe out and push your stomach in. We'll do a few more counts. In and push your stomach out. Breathe out and pull your stomach in. Now, place your arms here, kind of in the middle of your torso, and do the same thing, but try to expand over here, this rib cage. When you breathe, try to push it out. Okay? So just watch me. Do you see how my hands are moving out? So what's happening is my diaphragm is over here. When I take a deep breath in, it's pushing against the rib cage and expanding it. And when I breathe out, it's pushing it in. So let's just do this 3 times. Okay. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. In. And out. So at any point, if you observed that when you were breathing in, your stomach was going in, it's okay. We've been breathing wrong all our lives. So take a moment to correct that now. So just every day, if you can just sit like this and practice this for like 2 to 5 minutes, automatically your breathing will change and you'll take deeper breaths. Okay. So just this practice 5 minutes every day will transform your breathing. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to start with a series of Sukshma Vyayama. So Sukshma means subtle. These are important. Like these might seem very easy, but they're important because they actually build foundational strength in the joints. And also in additional to strength, they're warming up your body so you won't get hurt when we're doing the asanas. Okay, so we'll start with very simple asanas. Um, you can sit down and do this, or you can get up and do this. Anything is fine. So just with simple neck movements. So as you breathe out, bring your neck, chin to your chest. Breathe in and back. Breathe out and forward. Breathe in and back. Breathe out and forward. Breathe in and back. Come back to your starting position. Now we'll bring the ears to the side. So be careful not to go down like this. You're going down sideways. Okay, so hands relaxed. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the center. Now we'll start with some shoulder movements. So it might be easier to just stand up for this. Okay. So we just start with the elbow rotation. So as you bring your elbows to place your fingertips on your shoulders, bring your elbows together, inhale and raise it, and exhale and bring it down. So just rotation. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. The other way around, as you bring it up, inhale. As you bring it down, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay. Okay, so now arms to the side. And we're just going to raise the hands up. So look at how my hands go up. When it goes from the side, the palms are facing out this way. This way, and they don't touch. And then they come back down to the side. Yeah. And up. And down. And do this very slowly and very consciously. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay. So now we're going to open our hips a little bit. So what we're going to do is you're going to place your arms, your hands like this on your back, on your hip bone here. And we're going to bend back. Inhale and bend back. Keep the legs straight. Exhale and bend forward. Inhale and bend up. Exhale and come up. Okay. Now we're going to do something called the chair pose. So look at my thighs. You're going to go down as much as you can, like this. And then from here, you're going to bring your back straight. Yeah. So now when you do this, make sure your knees and your toes, your feet should be this way. Your toes should not cross, your knees should not cross your toes. So if I start going like this, I'm going to correct myself, bring my knees back, and then go down as much as I can. Do next now is start asanas. And for those of you who missed the beginning, I've curated these asanas specifically for, so I generally like to give these asanas to women for any problems to do with PCOS, PCOD, menstrual pain, menopause. So because all these asanas, what they do is we have Panchavayu and the fifth or Panchaprana. And one of the important vayus for that is Apana Vayu, the downward flow of wind. So, so certain times when there's pain during periods and all of that, there are certain blockages, and so that's why it hurts. So what we do with this is actually we regulate the flow of that. And another advantage it has is for digestion, because when our vayu is going everywhere, or when that flow is not going from the intestine from the right side to the left side, it's not going down, like all that food, digested food, gets stuck in our stomach in different places. So what these asanas do is it helps to push it out of the intestine. So these asanas, if you can just do these asanas every day for, diaphragm breathing for 5 minutes, these asanas for 10 minutes, and in the end I'll show you a meditation also. If you can do that for 5 to 10 minutes every day, you won't have any kind of menstrual problems. These are more basic asanas, but these are also enough. And my dog just joined us for the session. Okay. So we're going to start with the Pavan Muktasana series. I'm not going to take the advanced Sarvangasana series because I'm not. I think it's dangerous to teach that online, like standing on your head and all of that. But we'll start with Pavan Muktasana. Okay. So the first pose is Ardha Titli. So keep your left leg forward, your right leg, you're going to take it and you are going to place it on your left thigh. Okay. It's okay if the foot doesn't go down all the way. If it goes down, that's also good. Okay. Now support your left hand, support your right leg with your left hand, and you're going to use your right hand to push this leg down. Okay. So very slowly, just flap. Okay. Now increase the speed. Faster. Okay. Slow down. Slow down. Okay. Same thing with the other leg. Increase the speed. Slow down. Okay. Now come back to that same position, but we're going to very intentionally do this slowly. So lift your leg up all the way. You'll feel a nice stretch here. So lift your leg as close as you can and then slowly push it down as much as you can. If it hurts, don't go beyond it. Lift. Exhale and push it down. Inhale. Exhale. The other side. Inhale. Exhale. Push down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So, okay. So now we're going to do Purna Titli. So these legs, as much as you can, pull it in. It doesn't have to go all the way in here. Your feet don't have to be on the floor. Wherever you can reach is perfectly fine. Just don't hurt yourself.
Hello, Nandita.
So from here,
Hello.
start flapping slowly.
Hello.
Yeah.
Should I ask one question? Should I interrupt? Sorry.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah. In the previous asanas, is this needed to touch with needed to touch with floor, the thigh?
If you can, yes. If you
Okay.
can't, that's fine. As long as you feel this, you'll feel the stretch in your inner thigh. As your flexibility increases,
It will be goes down.
that'll be a natural state. Yeah. So don't
Okay.
worry about that. Thanks. Okay. So slowly and then fast. 2, 1. Inhale and come up. Exhale and come down. Now we're going to do another variation. This time we're going to keep our left hand on the floor and our right hand on the waist. Okay. So left hand on the floor, right hand on the waist. Your back will be going forward. Consciously try to bring this back behind. Yeah. If you can, if you want to challenge yourself, if nothing is hurting, then you can take this hand off and bring it down to the toes and look up. Otherwise, stay here. When you're in this position, like pull your body through, take your head up and look up. Otherwise, just stay here. And come up. Same thing on the right side. Right hand on the floor, like this, palms facing up. Left hand on the waist and go down. Then if you can, take this hand further, go down. If you can, even further, go down. If you can't, stay where you are. That's perfectly fine. And then if you can, take your hand around and look up. Otherwise, just stay here. Okay. Inhale and come up. Okay. Now, so this was the Pavan Muktasana series. There's just one asana left. This is going to wake my neighbors up, but we're going to do it. So we're going to be standing, and this is how the fingers are going to be. So like this, with the thumb pointed out. We're going to look at, we're going to gaze at feet apart. We're going to gaze at the thumbs, raise it up, and as you come down, it's like a hammer. Okay, you're going to do ha. Inhale, exhale. Okay, so let's try that. You do it 3 times. Gaze at your hands in front of you. Gaze at your thumbs. Inhale, take your arms up. Keep looking at the thumb. Exhale and hammer. Ha! Inhale. Ha! Inhale. Say the ha. Ha! This is, I love this. It gets on my frustration out. It's very good for removing toxins. Okay. So this was the Pavan Muktasana series. I added a few postures here and there just to release some tension, especially if you work in IT. Like, sciatica can be a problem quite often. So I gave some poses even to release the pressure from the lower back. This was Pavan Muktasana, but I'm going to take a few asanas from other series, which are generally very good. One is, okay, we just do Paschimottanasana, and then there's one asana to control blood sugar also. So we'll do that. That's Mandukasana. It basically just stimulates your organs to your pancreas to release insulin and manage blood sugar. So even if you don't have diabetes, in fact, especially if you don't have diabetes, you should do it so that you don't have any kind of problem. Okay, so the first one is Paschimottanasana. So same thing, it's a toe touch again. Before we do that, we're just going to do a twist. So while you're sitting in this position, take your arms back as much as you can and look back and twist. And go down as much as you can. Try not to keep your right hip on the floor, your back hip, because the tendency will be to raise it. Don't do that. Go down. Inhale and come up. Same thing on the other side. Twist. Exhale and go down. Let's do this one more time. Exhale. Go down. Inhale, come up. Twist to the other side. Exhale, go down. Inhale, come up. Now, from here, we're going to Dandasana. So, hands straight up. Pull it up. Pull, 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 pull. Okay. As you exhale, you're going down. Same rule. Don't go like this. Don't hurt your back. Keep your chin straight as you go down. And bring your chin forward. Then once you know your stomach is touching your thigh, once you know that for sure, then you can bring your head down. So if for your stomach to touch, or if it's not touching, that's also fine. You can bend your legs so that the stomach touches the thigh. The goal here is to keep the spine straight. We're strengthening the spine, and we want to stretch the back. We want to strengthen the spine. We want to stretch, give like circulation to the kidneys. So here, if you try to do this, it's not doing any of that. So even if you don't touch your toes, you keep your legs bent, but you keep your back straight, it's still going to give you, and then you go down, it's going to give you a greater stretch. And over time, you can keep increasing this distance a little bit. And like just in a matter of a few weeks, you'll be able to go down all the way. Okay. So once you reach here, then try to bring your elbows to the floor. Okay. Some people have shorter arms. You might not be able to touch your toes, and that's fine. That's just the way the body is. So keep your legs bent, go down, and then inhale and come up. Excellent. Okay. So this is called Paschimottanasana. Paschim means back, Tanasana means to stretch. So this is an excellent stretch for your kidneys because your kidneys are in at the back, the middle of your back. It's also very good for digestion because your internal organs are getting stretched. And there's a concept of nadis in, we'll come to nadis later when we're doing meditation, but the Shushumna Nadi, the central Nadi, actually also gets stretched when you touch your forehead to your knees. Forehead as in like when you bring your back towards your stomach towards your chest. So the same pose standing up is Padahastasana. So this one. So when you do this, it's the same thing. Stomach is to the chest, and here your entire nadi gets, your Sushumna nadi gets activated. It gets stretched when you do this asana. So this asana is very, very good. Okay. The next one, do Mandukasana. That's the one for diabetes. Okay. So we are first going to go to Mandukasana through Vajrasana. And Vajrasana, especially if you have sciatica or you feel that you're going to start developing it because of sitting at a computer all day, Vajrasana, Paschimottanasana, and Trikonasana, even that side bend, these are all excellent asanas to stretch out the side and the back of your body and to release the tension in your lower back. So, yeah, so these are some asanas I commonly do with people who sit on a chair all day. Okay. So for Mandukasana, we're going to be sitting in Vajrasana, which is like this. Now, if this is uncomfortable, you can also just place a pillow like this. If this is uncomfortable, you can place 2 pillows. So you can actually be at this height. That's fine. So whatever works for you. Okay. If your knees hurt, don't do this. You can do different modifications, but if your knees are hurting in this, don't do it. Try keeping a pillow. If they hurt even after that, don't do it. Okay. So this is the sitting position. The hands are like this. Thumbs inside, fingers on top, and then you're going to pull the thumb out just enough so that the knuckles are out. Okay. And these knuckles, you're going to place next to your navel over here, like this. Okay. So when we go down, it's going to push into your stomach. Yeah. So what we're going to sit in Vajrasana. Take the knuckle, fold the thumbs in, knuckles out. Place them at the side of your belly button. And as you breathe out, go only as much as is comfortable. Don't fight your body. As you breathe out, go down and put your head down. So you feel like a pressure on your stomach. Don't overdo it. Just stay there for 5 counts. Just focus on your breath. Forget everything else. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in and come up. We'll do this one more time. When you go down, put your head down completely. I keep my head up because I need to see like if there are corrections. But when you go down and then drop your head. Okay. So let's do it one more time. Go down, drop your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in and come up. Excellent. Now we're just going to do one more asana as a counter pose for this, and that's Ushtrasana, which is the camel pose. Okay, so you're going to sit like this. I would recommend starting with your toes tucked in. Later, if you feel you have the flexibility here, otherwise you'll hurt your lower back. Later, see if you're comfortable, then you can bring your legs down and then do this. Okay. So I'll show you from here for now. So toes tucked in, hands here, like we did in the warm-up here. So push your back behind like this, so you're here. So just go back a little bit. Put your hands on your heels and then push your thighs forward. So the tendency is to be like this. Push it forward and drop your head back. So if your knees are hurting, you can also stand and do this. Same thing, with the hands behind and Or you can just place something like a pillow or something under your knees. That is also fine. And so let's hold this for 5 seconds. So go back, drop your hands, come in the front, drop your neck behind, and hold. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe in and come out. Okay. So all these asanas, if you can incorporate into your daily life, you'll see a lot of benefits, especially where reproductive organs are concerned. There's one more series, Sarvangasana series, which helps to balance your hormones. It's not a good idea to learn it online because there's a lot of alignment and this thing. But just for your reference, if you ever have a teacher in person who can teach you, Sarvangasana just sets everything right. So yeah. But even this much for now is very good. Okay. So we have 10 more minutes. What I actually want to do is I'd like to do a little bit of meditation, and I'll tell you why. It's because in the yogic sciences, specifically in the Taittiriya Upanishad, they actually explain how our body is, it's not just our body, right? It's not just the physical body. You have the Annamaya Kosha, which is your outer body. You have the Pranamaya Kosha, which is your breath. Then you have the Manomaya Kosha, which is your mind. Then you have the Vidyanmaya Kosha, and then the Anandmaya Kosha. So any kind of disease or discomfort or any of that stuff actually starts as Adhi in the Manomaya Kosha. So when we do meditation, when we do pranayama, we're actually accessing the Pranamaya Kosha and the Manomaya Kosha also. And we're going even deeper. So when the problem is resolved over there, even external problems start getting solved. Like, anything that's manifesting in the body, that starts getting solved. So it's always very important to end your practice with some relaxation. So we don't have time to do Shavasana, but we just sit we just relax, we lie down for a minute, and then I'll teach you some basic pranayama, and then we'll do meditation for 5 minutes. So, and also because, it helps you de-stress, right? And stress is linked to cortisol, and cortisol is linked to weight gain. So that's another thing I tell, like a lot of people who come to me who are talking about like stress related weight gain. This is an excellent practice. Okay. So, so maybe instead of lying down, let's just sit straight, and let's just shut our eyes and do like a quick scan of our body before we start. So just sit in any comfortable cross-legged position with your eyes closed. So close your eyes and just relax. And let's do a quick scan of our body. Okay. So let's start with the toes. Notice if there's any discomfort. Go to the foot, the ankles, the calves, the knees, the thighs, the hips and genital organs, the belly button, the lower back, the mid torso, the chest, and the lungs. Take a moment here to notice your breath go in and out of the lungs. The shoulders and the upper back. The elbows, the forearms, the fingers. Let's come to the face, the lips, the nose, cheeks, the eyes. Notice if there's any tension in the jaw and the tongue. Make sure it's resting. Make sure the jaw is relaxed. The eyes, the forehead, the top of the head. And now become aware of your entire body. Just take a moment to take a deep breath in and a long, deep breath out. Breathe in. And a long, prolonged exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay. So you can open your eyes now. We're going to do Anulom Vilom. What Anulom Vilom does is it basically balances your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. It basically balances your Ida and Pingala nadis, which are on either side. So when these nadis are balanced, then the prana flows from the center. So you're more focused also in your daily life. So we're going to see this is the mudra, pranav mudra. You can even just use 2 fingers, that's also fine, but this is the mudra. You're going to block your right nostril. And if it's comfortable, literally just use your thumb and your finger, that's also fine. So just a gentle pressure here. Block your right nostril. Breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Now, block your left nostril and breathe out through the right. And breathe in through the right. Block your right. Breathe out through the left. In through the left. Block your left. Breathe out through the right. In through the right. Block the right. Out through the left. In through the left. Block the left. Now keep doing this on your own for 2 more cycles. And as you breathe out through the left nostril, bring your hands down. So now, so this is called Anulom Vilom. Do it for a longer time every day. Both your right and left nostril breathing will get balanced. So we'll just sit before we end the session. Let's just sit in meditation for about a session with Om Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, so that's the session today.